For the first time this season, West Coast have been defeated on their home deck as the Greater Western Sydney, with only 26 available players to pick from, showcased exactly why they are equal flag favourites, prevailing by 8 points in what was said to be a pretty cracking game of footy. A nerve-wracking wait is now in store over our vice-captain and probably the club's most important player in Josh Kennedy, as scan results should be delivered in the next few days. Fingers crossed for the big fella. Welcome to Eagle Review for round 10. Ben Roberts, I always appreciate your company.
Yeah. Thanks
for joining me. What a belter game it was in the end. I mean, the sides exchanging goals in the last quarter, ebbing and flowing. Every time West Coast did kick the goal in the last, the Giants would respond almost automatically. They kicked 4-2 in the last quarter, the Giants. After they had butchered some early opportunities, it must be said. Simpson came out and said the opposition probably deserved this victory a little bit more. Where do you sit in terms of that comment?
Yeah, 8 scoring changes, 8 lead changes in the last quarter. Ebbed and flowed, as you say. Very exciting. Well, the Giants, it was actually, I was just looking at the stats before in preparation.
That is your job.
It is. And it was really close, really close. There is one glaring stat, which I'll leave till the end, which most people probably already know. But like rebound 50s, it was 4 goals 2 to 3 goals 1 to us. We're ahead there, just. But we don't want to play that way. From turnovers, 11-4 to 11-9, close. Very close. That's the Giants by 5 points. Now here we go. So clearances, we were down by 23. That's heaps. 23. But scoring from clearances actually wasn't that bad. It was 2 goals 1 to 3-5 to the Giants. So it's only 1 goal. We only lost by 8 points. But I guess the weight of numbers with the clearance is 23. 23 is a lot. Forward half time, 58% to 42. So they dominated that on the back of those clearances. If you throw enough darts, you're eventually going to hit the dartboard, and that's the story of the day.
Yeah, very much miss Luke Shuey, that laid out with the calf complaint. Then the Eagles did overuse the handball at certain times, and the turnovers in costly areas did play a part in the result. I think the 3 clearances off the back flank in the last quarter to the Giants, that'll be looked at. Absolutely, the Eagles really need to play on their man there, and a couple of missed opportunities in the fourth quarter will rue them a little bit. Sir Doug Nicholls round, it was Indigenous celebrations. We had 3 inclusions that didn't play last week. Jetta Carpenter-Hill.
Yep.
And Lewis Jetta really did explode for his best game in Eagles colours.
Yeah, just quickly before that, Mally Carpenter I thought was pretty good. Kicked his first AFL goal. 17 forward half pressure acts. It's one of the things that a lot of people wouldn't notice, that the stats sheet shows us. 17, that's a good number, so well done, Malcolm. And I thought Jets was bloody good. Bloody good. Definitely his best game for the club. 28 touches is a lot. He's not going to get that many that often. 11 scoring involvements, 6 in 550s, top of the list for us. 800 and something metres game.
That's outrageous.
Mental.
Yeah. What next best with Gaffey with 400?
400-ish, so just a tick over. So it was nearly double him. The dance was nice, though.
It was funny that Dwayne Russell was quick to pick up. The crowd were a lot more receptive to this dance.
Yeah, last time, certainly the impetus for the dance was a little different this time and much more warmly received.
Thought we battled proudly in the ruck department, and the stats might not show that. Mummy is one of the best tap ruckmen in the game, had 50 hit-outs on the day, but those stats don't quite tell the story, Ben.
Yeah, all we've wanted from the rucks is to compete, and compete they did. I know they're up against it, as you say, with Big Mummy, one of the strongest and biggest men on the planet. But Vardy actually won nearly half, just under 48% of his hit-outs that he contested. So that's pretty bloody good for someone who's played ruck. This is the first year he's played in the ruck. He's traditionally been a forward. So that's a great effort. Petrie's also new to the role, and as we know, he hasn't had that many ruck contests in his life, but showed at times that he can use his smarts and his nous and his wiliness, being a veteran, to out-jump Mummy at times and work hard, and 5 clearances off his own boot. So he followed up, and that's the thing you do have if you're a little bit smaller, more mobile ruckman. You can follow up and get it when he hits the deck. And they had a crack. Yeah, the clearances were the difference in the end, probably off the back of 50 hit-outs. But they won the contested ball, which is good.
Sam Mitchell certainly can do it all when he's up and running. 31 disposals, 94% efficiency. Don't adjust your screens, that is correct. Appealing for free kicks and getting goals overturned by Toby Green. He's just an all-rounded legend at the moment.
He is a genuine legend and broke the all-time record for 30 disposal games at the weekend. 119 of those for Sam. I think it's 119. If not, it's 118, but he's got a bloody lot of them. And he's number 1 of all time now for 30 disposal games. So that's incredible. Well done, Sam.
Broke his duck for the goal,
He did. First goal in over 2 years, and that might play him forward now. A little goal sneak, just showing his nous there. He gave the fans a little one of the points as well, which was nice.
Yeah, heartwarming stuff.
Yeah, nice goal.
Got a problem with any of these deliberates? Do you think any of these will be overturned in the near future?
No, I thought Scully I think Scully didn't need to try and pretend that he was doing as much as he was doing. I think
overacting, you're saying?
A little bit. He could have just rushed it. I think, but definitely the players are still a little bit under unsure as to what they can and can't do.
And Gaff's fumble.
And Gaff's fumble, good fumble. Professional fumble.
Yes, well said. Brad Shepherd scrutinised by commentator David King about diving sideways on the mark. Do you have a problem with this at all? I know that he called play on and he shouldn't have been given 50 because the umpire called play on. But do you have a problem with diving sideways on the mark?
Well, not if you're on the mark. Just because you're on the mark doesn't mean you have to stand on the mark. That's where the mark is. You can stand 2 metres to the side if you want to. The problem was the kicker kicked from on the mark. So when Shepherd's 2 metres to the right because he fell over, but he is still the one manning the mark, he can man it however he likes. Well, look, think about when someone's having a shot for goal. He doesn't have to stand there. He can stand 2 metres to the right and try and put him off and run across. That's all Shepherd's doing. Shepherd's the man on the mark. He's allowed to smother him. It's the guy kicking without pushing back.
Couldn't agree more. Idiotic comments. Not often does a defender spoil, make the highlight reel for resulting directly in a goal, but Sam Butler coming from 40 metres deep, that was quite impressive, but...
Goal assist?
You'd have to give him one, but it's not your defensive player of the game, Ben.
No. What about Gov? We know how good he is.
Yes.
And he loves to do things differently, Gov, at times.
Doesn't he?
Little error early that we won't touch on. Just touched on it. But how about this one? Looks like he's gone. He falls over. Looks like, nah, easy goal. Oh, no, not at this moment, please. But gets up, draws on all his strength, gets up, throws the spoil in, follows up his own work. 1, 2, 3, 4 efforts, clears the ball. Well done, Gov.
That was special. Speaking of defenders, Jackson Nelson, I got no problem with this tackle in mid-air onto Whitfield. This looked pretty legal, I thought.
Liked it.
Yeah. Toughen up a little bit. Roast of the round time. We've got a few to churn through. Let's get into it. JK hitting the back of the head with a footy in the opening couple of minutes. That was good. I think this Hill mark's got to be paid, surely. Umpire had his time again. Indigenous round, I think you've got to pay that, Benny.
Indigenous round looks like Whitfield's giving out gifts for Indigenous round. One here to Jetta, straight across face of goal. Thanks, boys. Keeps the Eagles alive just, maybe.
Nathan Vardy been watching too much NBA playoffs, I think, trying to dribble the ball back to himself. Don't know if he studied the shape of the ball, but it's not really meant to do that. I think this is one of the worst inside 50 entries you're probably going to see this year. Brad Shepherd, second-guessing himself, retreated, gone back in, left foot, turned it over straight away. No. That was humour.
Was this play on?
Well, yeah, I think so, but I think you can have an argument to say it's not because the whistle was blown late, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was late. Yeah, it's one of those 50-50s. Who we roasting?
It's a grey area. It's a total grey area.
It is grey. Who we roasting, Mummy or the umpire for the late call? How about half a roast each, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, take that. What about Shane Mumford continuing to be involved here? Hit Hutchie late behind play. Bit of a height and weight mismatch there. Yeah. So Hutchie was out on his feet, understandably, but Hutchie responds with a goal the very next play. No better revenge.
Yeah, and I've never... I haven't seen this very often. Someone throwing the fist pump before they kick the goal. It's weird to look at, isn't it? I remember Nathan Brown showed the ball that time and he got spanked for it years ago.
But that looks better than if it was just such a slight fist pump too.
Yeah, it was like the Ian Thorpe, like slow fist pump.
Jeez, I'm so happy I didn't fumble at fist pump.
Imagine if he dropped it or something like that. It was stupid. But I've got one that's the winner. Did you watch the Carlton game? It was on just before our game. Were you watching?
I had a gander.
It was close, but this didn't happen. It was as though this was happening with 10 seconds to go, scores level, but it didn't. Have a look at this. Wiedering, the ball's coming in on the goal line. David Seaman going back with the flight, just to tip it over the crossbar, but pushes it back into play. Dumont goes, thank you very much, and kicks it through.
Goal assist?
Goal assist. If you either mark it or just touch it and let it go through.
Could have done 40 other things besides that one, I think.
Simple. Take a mark. Never happens. Roast wouldn't be yours.